very, very honest and real that our featured speaker today, Morgan Butler, is either in labor as we speak, or she is getting ready to have a baby. That's the same thing. I mean, either she's at the hospital or she's at home. That's what I'm trying to say. But Morgan and I met about 10 days ago, and we pre-recorded this interview. So you'll see that I'm in a different shirt, different hair. So I'm going to play that recording. I wanted to be honest with everybody because I still want you to give her the utmost attention and respect she deserves. Her story is great. So here she is, Morgan Butler, on an interview that was pre-taped. Hold on. I got this. Coaches, I am so excited to bring this story to you today, and I'm going to be very transparent. We are pre-recording this because Morgan Butler is about to go into labor. She may already have had the kid by the time this airs, but we wanted to play it safe, so we pre-recorded. I hope you enjoyed this interview. Let me say a few things about her success as a coach so far, since she's been coaching about 2 years. She's currently a 6-star diamond coach. She also was a premier coach for 2020, and she has found out that she's already qualified to be an elite coach for 2021. So as of July, she already hit the necessary requirements to be an elite coach. She also came into this business as a success starter, so achieving Success Club 3 out of the first 6 months of her business. And she has hit Success Club 23 months in a row. You guys, please welcome from Charlotte, North Carolina, Morgan Butler. Yay! How was that?
That was perfect. I'm definitely about to pop, so.
Well, you are today, which is about 10 days before this will air. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for pre-recording. And why don't you let everybody know, introduce yourself and what brought you to becoming a coach?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. So, hey, everybody, my name is Morgan Butler. I'm so excited to be here and to be speaking on the National Wake Up Call. Such an honor. I am a mother and a wife here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have a 2-year-old daughter. She is the sweetest little thing, and I am currently pregnant, due tomorrow, with a boy. So we are so excited about that. But before I found Beachbody, I was lost, unhealthy, lonely. I was a new mom who was just struggling in motherhood. Previous to becoming a mom, I was in a very successful corporate career. I really pictured myself as someone who was going to climb that corporate ladder and, go all the way to the top and be the female CEO of my company. But once I had my baby, I just realized that I wanted to be home, and that calling to be a mom in my life was so much stronger than the calling to, be gone from my family all the time. And so once I had my baby, I decided to leave my job after my maternity leave. And that's when everything just went downhill. I, had just walked away from a career that I loved. I was lonely. I was depressed. I was overweight. I was struggling just internally with a lot of things that I had never struggled with before. The Morgan that I looked in the mirror was not the Morgan I knew. And it was tough. It was really hard. It brings, honestly, tears to my eyes because I was just in such a dark and lonely place. And so that's when Beachbody fell into my lap. I'll save you guys all the tears. About 4 or 5 months postpartum, I was looking for a couple of things. I realized that, one, I needed to get my health and fitness in line. So I was like, I need to lose weight. I don't feel comfortable with myself. I barely feel comfortable changing in front of my husband, which if you're a wife, that is not a very good feeling to have. And then I also knew that I needed to find a business for myself that would help my husband with our financial situation. It's funny because when I made the decision to leave my job, he told me 1 year. You can be home, we can support the family for 1 year, with you being away from work, but after that 1 year, you've got to get back to work. And so in the back of my mind, of course, I'm thinking like, all right, what am I going to find that's going to allow me to not go back to work after that 1 year? So I was looking for a business to start from home, super uncomfortable with myself as well. And so I was kind of looking into different network marketing companies. I was looking into Rodan & Fields and Young Living, and you guys know all the other options out there. But then I was also following this girl on social media who I didn't really know that was posting about 80-Day Obsession. And so I reached out to her and I was like, hey, you look amazing. You just had a baby. I need to do this program. Before I started this program, before motherhood, you guys, fitness was never a part of my life. Like, I was not that girl that you would catch in the gym. I am not athletic. I was never into healthy living or anything like that. But I knew I had to make some changes if I wanted to become myself again, or a newer version of myself. And so I started 80-Day Obsession. It fell into my lap pretty randomly. I didn't even really consider the business side of things, although I was in the back of my mind knowing that I needed to start some kind of business. So I started 80-Day Obsession. I started feeling amazing. And after 2 weeks of starting my program, I reached back out to my coach and I was like, hey, I've been finding myself like trying to get my friends to do this with me. Maybe this is a business that I need to start. And so I started sharing all about my journey. Really, I think the main reason that I was able to start my business so strong from the beginning is the fact that I was constantly being proof that the product worked. I started sharing from day one. I was about 35 pounds overweight, had a lot of confidence issues that I was struggling through, but that personal development really helped me push through that. I started talking about my love for the program, being someone who's hated fitness. I started sharing my results. I started sharing about my meal plan and this new community, and I just fell in love with the business. And so while I started Beachbody for the fitness side of things, I stayed for the business. I started building my business around the same time that my coach was. And so I didn't have, some super high up upline coach who was handing me all these resources and all that stuff. I truly learned this business from watching Lindsay Matway videos and Melanie Mitro videos and Bonnie Engel videos on YouTube. And I knew that I had to keep making action in sharing my journey while also educating myself on how to build this business. And so while I love the coaching side of things and running my groups, my goal was ultimately to make money, right? I told you guys that I was searching for a business that was gonna allow me to stay home past that 1 year, because my husband told me when I left my job, you have 1 year to be home with your baby. And after that, you've got to find a job that's gonna help us start bringing in income. And so I saw this as an income opportunity. I would hear, Lindsay Matway and Melanie talk about how they retired their husbands, and I knew that's what I wanted. And so fitness brought me in, but it's the financials that's really kept me going.
You know what? I really love your honesty about this, because you really did want to come to the company to make money, but you did your research to understand what that was going to take. I love that your husband gave you a year, because sometimes you need that parameter to, get into action. Because if you want to make money and you do the reverse engineering and you know what it's going to take, then, you have that time limit. Sometimes when people have no time limit, they're just kind of loose about it. So I love that. And I really do love that you did your research. And this is good advice for everybody who is talking to coaches. Have them do their research. Look at other companies. See what speaks to you. So I really love that you did that, because you were very serious about becoming a business builder. So let's move on. Sorry, because you can't sit for too long, right? So what was your initial goal in coming to Beachbody? I know you had researched the other network marketing companies, but what about Beachbody spoke to you?
So I'll start with the second half of the question of what was it about Beachbody that spoke to me? And I'll say that, I was looking into other companies, but what I realized was different about Beachbody that really stood out to me was the fact that I didn't have to brand myself as a specific product. You know, I would see these other girls running with these skincare products and oil companies, and I felt like they really had to lose themselves to those products. And what I loved about Beachbody is that this is not a transactional business. Yes, we're, you know, making a transaction at the end of the day, but we are here to coach people and to inspire people. And I love that. I love that I just got to share my journey through my own health and fitness journey as I'm reaching goals. And that's what allowed me to grow this business. I didn't have to post, here's my Shakeology. It's so-and-so amount of dollars and on sale today, you know? So I loved that Beachbody allowed me to be me and to share my journey passionately while promoting, you know, the amazing programs that Beachbody is offering me and, you know, the full solution with the products, but I didn't have to feel salesy when doing that. So that's something that I knew I didn't want to do, was I didn't want to be a salesperson on social media, but I love that Beachbody allowed me just to be me and just share my journey, share what was working for me, and inspire other people to do that. And then to answer your first question of what was my initial goal when I came to Beachbody, my first goal that I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going all in. I need to build a business. I'm not going back to work after that 1 year. And so my first goal was to make $1,000. So wanted to make $1,000. I'm proud to say that with the hard work that I put in those first couple months, which we'll kind of get into, being proof of the product, you know, inviting, sharing my journey, I was able to reach that goal within 3 months of starting my business.
So let's be really clear. Your goal was to make $1,000 a month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Not
yeah.
a year.
One time. No. That was my goal. Yeah.
And so that was because that was your initial goal. Then let's talk about what you did your first year as a coach, because you've been a coach for 2 years. So what was that first year like?
Yeah. So my first year had ups and downs, like, you know, anybody's first year, I'm assuming. I didn't sign up with, you know, a top coach in the company. My upline coach was actually starting to build the business right around the same time that I was. And so I didn't have all of these resources just at my fingertips. I wasn't on these big team calls and all of that stuff. And so I was really motivated to just figure out this business on my own. And so I start saying that because I want you guys to know that, you know, you don't have to have a top coach being your upline to be successful in the business. Like, you can make this work on your own. And so that's what I set out to do. Again, I didn't have anyone feeding me resources, so I had to kind of just figure it out. My first year was successful, but it was also very messy. And what I mean by that is I just really didn't have any rhyme or reason to what I was doing. I was just doing. I was just sharing. I was just waking up with excitement, posting in my accountability groups, excited to see the transformation that I was personally seeing, being that health and fitness was never a part of my life. So seeing, you know, weight come off and me feeling better and me fitting into my clothes better and me feeling more confident in front of my husband and sharing those things, that's what I was doing. But again, it was very messy. I learned a lot from trainings just on YouTube from top coaches. And so I learned specifically that if I wanted to build a big business and make a lot of money, that I had to start recruiting other business builders to my team from day one. And that's how I was going to help build my income as fast as I wanted to build it. So that's what I did. I started meeting up with friends at coffee dates. I started reaching out to people in my warm market and asking them if they wanted to grab coffee so I could share with them this new opportunity I just found. And in these meetings that I would have, I would be honest about, hey, I'm only 5 weeks into this, but here's what I've educated myself on. Here's what I'm learning. And I think you would be amazing at doing this too. And so from the start of my business in that first year, I just knew that, you know, of course, being proof of the product and inviting was going to be so important, but I also knew that inviting to the business opportunity was also going to be a way to build income, as that was my goal, was to not have to go back to work. So I was seeing success, but I was also felt like something was lacking. I was motivated to run the business, but as I was bringing on these business builders, I wasn't seeing a lot of my coaches wanting to be as motivated as me. And so, like I already said, my business was messy. Like I had no business plans. I had no calendar set up for how I was going to go into a new month. I just kind of started a new month and did what felt good that day. I was definitely working harder and not smarter. So I was meeting people for coffee dates, which was, taking up a lot of my time, especially as a new mom who had a baby at home. The success I was seeing was pretty random here and there. Like there was no consistency every month in how my team was growing. It was just very random. I was struggling to find diamond leaders who, believed in themselves because they didn't know how to recruit business builders themselves. And so it made our team a team of very shaky diamonds. And so ultimately there was just no structure. In my first year, there was no duplication for my team to grab onto. There was nothing out there to help them be moving their business forward. I only had, a couple PDFs that me and my upline coach threw together. There was really nothing there to structure, moving forward in the business.
What strikes me as so interesting is people leave their jobs because they hate corporate and it's too structured and it's too organized. But then when they become a coach, they need some foundational structure. They need some organization to have a plan to do things that get them to where they want to be. Otherwise, if you just go in kind of loosey-goosey, it's messy, like you said. So, and that bothered you that it was messy. Okay, so your first year, 2018, you started kind of half the year. So in the next year, in 2019, you ended as a 4-star, right? And you qualified for the new leader conference that happens in February. And that was the one that was this year in 2020. So what happened at that event that changed the trajectory of your business?
So NLC was definitely a game changer for me. I'm so thankful that I pushed to be able to qualify for that event because it is just so inspiring. I learned so much. Again, I just left the NLC and I was super, super inspired specifically by a presentation that Kim Carver did about the 3 core business systems that need to be run. So basically acquisition, retention, and duplication. Those are the things that I realized that I did not have any structure around on my team or for myself, really. I didn't have any duplicatable systems for my downline to address in those 3 areas. And so I went home from MLC and I was just fired up. I was ready to level up. I feel like that is definitely the biggest takeaway from NLC was just like, holy smokes, I made it this far, but I have got to level up what I'm doing if I want to reach the goals that I have in front of me. And so I had to figure out ways to find a duplicatable system to where every single month we were acquiring new customers and new coaches, we were retaining them, and then also duplicating that for my downline. And so I just knew that I had to make some changes. I had a lot of honest conversations with myself about what needed to happen if I wanted to reach the goals that I did have in place. And so really just hearing from top leaders at NLC, hearing this presentation from Kim, just really made me realize that changes had to be made if I wanted to build the big business that I wanted to build. And so I think that was, just having that hard conversation with myself is really what changed, the course of my business for me.
So, okay, take us to what you did when you came back. What changed and what were you able to put into action?
So with Kim's presentation, he talked a lot about, those 3 pieces of acquisition, retention, and duplication. And so what I did was I realized I needed some kind of organization around those 3 things. And so I created a monthly calendar that basically incorporated all of those things that will allow myself to have organization in the business, but then also allow my downline to participate so that they could be finding those same processes and organization in their business. And so this was something that I created that we duplicate every single month. So it's a calendar. a marketing plan, and every single month I create a new one, and it's pretty much, this works the same every single month. And so the way it works is the first 2 weeks of every single month, we are strictly focused on our accountability group recruitment. So talking about our fitness, talking about our accountability groups. The first 2 weeks are always focused around our boot camps. And so the first week of any month, that's what we're sharing on our stories. And we're not just waking up and talking about coaching and, recruiting to the business. I'm specific about talking about my boot camps. And then the second Monday of every month, that's when that boot camp starts. So we keep focus of, the group recruitment for the first 2 weeks of the month. And then that's when that changes. So then we switch our focus to recruiting business building coaches. And so that third week of the month and fourth week of the month, my team, we host together 2 coach info webinars. And again, this is always changing, right? Like if you would have talked to me 6 months ago, I wasn't doing info webinars, I was doing sneak peeks. And so, just finding what's working for you is definitely the way to go. I host 2 coach info webinars led by myself and the diamond leaders on my team, the third Thursday and the fourth Thursday of every month. And so this has allowed for even my newest of new coaches to feel comfortable to inviting, because we have a set calendar of what it is they're inviting to, structure behind those things that they're inviting to. And so it's giving them the confidence to feel that they, have something to invite to, that they have people who are going to support them and give them the tools to feel confident inviting from the start.
Okay, so it sounds like you created a system for yourself. So it's like a machine. So it works and you have a groove. So first 2 weeks, second week, so there's always something to invite to. So as you bring new coaches onto your team, they know where to plug people in, right? Now, yeah. Are your new coaches using your calendar, or have you trained them to kind of do their own, system?
So a little bit of both. So I have everybody in my downline, all the newer coaches use my calendar. So we do it all together. However, once my coaches, feel like they're ready to start doing it themselves, they take the system and work it for their downline. So it just depends. If a new coach is not comfortable, leading a coach info webinar, which most of them aren't, I don't just push them out of the nest immediately. A lot of them are running with my calendar system and keeping on track with me for their first couple months. And then as they start finding a couple business builders for themselves, I then kind of nudge them out of the nest and say, hey, you're ready. Why don't you step into this and try doing this on your own and try duplicating this calendar for you and your downline. And so it's a little bit of both. It kind of just depends. Everyone's goals in the business are different. So it's a little bit of both.
Okay. And you and I talked about getting your new coaches started right into inviting. So you have them doing this calendaring thing, but also you mentioned to me that you have 3 get started right calls. Okay. Yes. So explain how that works.
Yeah. So once I have new coaches join, because they're all joining at the same time of the month. And that's another piece of that structure and organization that has been a total game changer for me, where in my first year, I was bringing on new coaches just randomly all throughout the times of the month. And it was so stressful trying to get, this girl joined towards the beginning of the month and get her, all the training. And then this one joined towards the end of the month. So having the calendar system and having all of the new coaches join around the same time has allowed me to have more structure in my new coach onboarding as well. And so what Sandy's talking about is I do 3 getting started right calls. The first call is all about, entrepreneurship and mindset and expectations and, what this business can become, vision and all that. My second getting started right call is about getting started with posting on social media. That's obviously a very intimidating piece for a lot of new coaches. And so we talk about how to start sharing, how to put that first post out there. And then the third one is all about this calendar system that we use and how we market our accountability groups month after month after month. And each call is very focused on inviting, right? Because what I have found is I don't want to overload my new coaches with, here's, this 90-hour long training course. Now go do that. I found I did do that and it just wasn't working for me personally. And so I found that having very action-based steps from the start, was so important in seeing my downline also reach goals that they were having in this business. And so each of these calls is very action-based, where we also end with an action step around inviting. And so I keep inviting as the forefront of most of these calls, even though they are all so different.
Okay, so this is the last question, but you went to NLC almost 7 months ago, I think. So why do you think that the scheduling of your activities was a game changer for your business?
So I knew from day one of deciding that I wanted to run this business, that I wanted to run a big business. As I said, I was learning this business from, Lindsay Matway and Melanie Mitcher trainings that they had posted on YouTube. And when I would hear that, they were able to retire their husbands and do something that they love and bring in a big income, I knew that those were goals that I had for myself. And so I realized I wanted to build a big business. And so if I wanted to build a big business, I had to be more organized and more strategic in my daily actions for myself, but also help my downline understand the importance of those daily actions as well. And so, I realized that I just didn't want to wake up and share what was on my heart that day. Granted, I do that, right? We share our day to day, but meaning I had to have a plan of action. In order to make the money that I wanted to make to reach the goals that I have in this business, I knew that being strategic in my inviting and creating that duplicatable system for my coaches to follow was really, really going to be the game changer. And so I just think that, if you want to build a big business, you just got to have that structure and organization behind it. Be very strategic in why you're doing what you're doing every single day.
I think that you can still share what's on your heart, but you also need a structure and a foundational business if you're going to be a business builder. That was great. That was great advice. I'm so grateful for you coming on. Let's finish up with the last question. You've been a coach now 2 years. What has been the most fulfilling for you?
So being that my goals from the start were very financial based, I would say that has been so fulfilling for me and my family to be able to leave a career that I loved, had a season of just brokenness and confusion with myself, and to be able to come into this business and find my passion and find myself again. But not only that, but be able to reach those financial goals has been such a blessing for my family. When I left my corporate job after having my baby, that 1 year thing was just hanging over my head. And I knew that I did not want to go back after that 1 year, but that's all that we could afford at the time. And so just, figuring out how to support my family financially, figuring out that I had to do whatever I could to find a job that I could be doing from home because I knew I wanted to be home. The cool thing about this is I was able to match my corporate income within 6 months because of the, skill and effort and diligence that I put into this business relentlessly every single day. I did start running this business from home, so I did have a lot of time to put into this business, and so it didn't just happen. I put a lot of effort into that, but being that I was able to make what I was making in my corporate job within 6 months, and now 2 years later, I've been able to double my corporate income, has been just, such a joy to be able to find a passion leading people in health and fitness, but then also to grow financially, help my family. My husband's been able to walk away from a couple of different side jobs that he had. It's just amazing to find something that you feel passionate about while being able to support your family. And as Sandy stated, I am very pregnant, expecting baby number 2 any hour of the day now or next week or tomorrow or whatever. It's crazy to look back and say, if I wouldn't have found Beachbody and I would have gone back to work after that 1 year that my husband said, we can only do this for 1 year, where would I be today? You know, if I would have had to go back to work a year ago, that means I would have stepped into a job that I probably didn't feel passion towards, would have worked it for a year, and then would have said, hey, I'm having another baby. Peace out. I'm leaving. You know, then I would have either had to make that decision of I'm leaving after just working another job for a year, and that would have left a huge gap in my resume for whatever future career I would step into, or I would have had to leave my baby after 6 to 12 weeks of maternity leave and put my baby in daycare in the middle of a pandemic. And it's just crazy to see, you know, that the hard work that I've put in has just, you know, paid off in fulfillment and financials, and just helping me find my passion, helping our family feel whole with what, you know, our goals are as a family. And so just so thankful that I found Beachbody in this community and this passion. It's just been so great.
And we're so grateful for you. No one could have predicted what would have happened, you know, a year ago or 2 years ago. No one could have predicted what's going on right now. But what you did is you took strict measures for your family, and you did the research, you did the hard work, and I'm very, very happy for you and your success. Thank you for sharing this on the call and for pre-recording this, and good luck to you with everything happening in the next day or 2 days. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever he decides to come.
Who knows? Maybe on the day that we air this, you'll be watching it with your baby. So thanks again, Morgan. It was a pleasure working with you.
Thank you so much, Sandy.
Well, that was a great interview. And I would like to know if anybody would like a baby update from Morgan Butler. Let's see, because what I have found out is that Morgan is watching the National Wake Up Call. There she is. Oh my gosh. There she is. I don't think I've ever done this on the Wake Up Call, pre-record, and then you pop on live. How is it going? Baby update. What's going on?
So, baby update, I'm still very much pregnant. I'm actually sitting here bouncing on my ball, hoping that labor can start today or tomorrow, hopefully this week, because it is time to evict this baby out of my belly. We're still quite large here.
That is beautiful. That is really, really great. Well, we wish you all the luck this week. I'm sure it's happening. Probably we were hoping that the wake up call wasn't going to like push you into labor, but maybe now this will.
I hope so.
Thank you for your story. You know, in listening to it back again, I was thinking just how brave you are. You know, you're given a year to make this work. You do all your research, you do all the necessary actions, and it worked out for you. Congratulations on your success.
Thank you so much, Sandy. I really appreciate it.
All right. Good luck today. I mean, good luck this week. And everybody, I talked about earlier in this call about this week having patience. I want you all to thank a teacher this week. Okay, be patient if your kids are going back to school, and keep moving forward is the affirmation today. Keep moving forward, because there is no need for you to be perfect in your business, in your workouts, in your parenting. Just keep moving forward. Just keep doing the best that you can. So with that, everybody, have a great week. I'll see you here next Monday. Bye-bye.